Greetings, this is Renee coming at you with the latest edition of Scrapper for Cycle 8. Now, I did not have audio last time, so Scrapper is a play on words of the boxing term and then web scraping. I'm not going to repeat all of the things that are on this slide for web scraping, but basically none of it changed. If I get time, I'd like to add even more functionality for what web scraping can do. So what I did was I cleaned up the code. As you might recall, I had wiped out my Windows machine, and the only stuff I had backed up was the things that was on OneDrive, except for some old. It was a very old. I had not basically backed up my PC since I started my doctoral program, which was not a smart thing for a doctoral student to do, but needless to say, I did it. So I now have my GitHub desktop on OneDrive, and I am now uploading it to the actual GitHub site more periodically. I hadn't wanted to do that because I didn't want it there until we had to turn it in, but what does it really matter now, right? That way I never lose my code again. So I was able to clean up my code, and I was able to add some functionality. So I added error handling, and so what I did is I did incorporate where you're able to do web scraping for more than one website, and you're able to get a lot more web scraping. And so I automated a lot of stuff that wasn't automated before. So So if you go back to how it's going to be ran, and that will just be easier for me to show you that on the command prompt, you'll see that if you create a file that puts all your websites, and I just do it this way, and then let's add one. I don't know, let's see. What's a good site? You do have to add the HTTPS at the beginning of it. What's another popular site we all know and love? Twitter, huh? Why not? So let's add Twitter, and then you just, to get the new line, because that's how I have it separating it. Actually, I think any space is what I did, just because I didn't know what other people might do with their text file. So save it. I saved mine as websites.txt. Make sure you know where it is. I just put mine right here in the same directory where I'm running Scrapper. You do have to run the command prompt as administrator because it is creating directories for you. So what it's going to do now is for every single one of those websites, it's going to create a folder based upon the name of the site. So for example, the facebook.com is going to actually just create a folder called Facebook. And we can see, I believe before I started this again, where is C? My C directory. Yeah, here's C. See, as you can see, within C, I deleted everything. I deleted all the folders that it created. I do realize that just putting it here in C is not as elegant as it could be, so that's something I want to change. But I wanted the user to be able to change it, but I found that it got really convoluted with doing multiple websites, doing everything from the command line, so I rewrote the code and simplified it, and started automating things so that it was doing it for the user. So instead of the user telling it where to go, then I'm just putting it in C for now. I try to create a GUI interface, so that's what's going to be coming. So when I went to features, that's what's going to be coming, is I'm going to make it a GUI. Instead of doing all this from the command line, I'm going to do it from a GUI. And then when you run it, it'll output that it was successful. If it's successful, of course. Say that right. Alright, so it's successfully executed. So now if we bring back up the directory, you'll see it puts them all down at the bottom until you refresh the window. So I like to leave it like that because it makes it easier. And you'll see that there's a folder for each one of the websites that we created. And it is different than what I had done previously, just to make sure everything was still running today when I made the video. And when you go in there, you will see the files. This contains all the HTML. This contains all of the links that are found on the Facebook website. And then it automatically creates the robots.txt file, and it puts it on there as well. And that's pretty much it. Coming up in the next release, hopefully you'll have a GUI, and then it will for sure incorporate the knocker functionality.